This is Pooja from CSA Bangalore. First of all, good afternoon on a Friday, gloomy morning in Bangalore. Um, Thank you for joining and taking time for this webinar. I have with me John C. George, who is a renowned executive coach, and we are going to talk about how executing coaching and a few secrets to help you navigate your career. You can watch this stream from YouTube and LinkedIn Live, whichever is convenient. If you have questions, feel free to put them. I will be watching both the spaces for you to, if you have questions, we can answer those. Okay, so let's get started. So I think if I look back my career, I every company which I worked, I had a certain state in my life where I felt that I'm stagnant, right? I've kind of reached, I've learned, I've done so many things, but I'm feeling stagnant, and that's what the metric says, right? It says 60% of mid-career engineers, they also feel plateaued despite of doing so much, despite of overcoming or overachieving their goals, right? And I think it's kind of relates to me also because I struggle, I initially struggled to see how do I get into leadership roles and what should I do differently to be there. I wish this session was there to kind of at the time to help me navigate into leadership roles. But then I think what I have is Coach John C sharing a lot of secrets on what we can do if all of you feel certain way or kind of relate to this. So with this I will hand over to John C to take us through.
All right. Thank you, Pooja. A very, very warm welcome to each one of you. Thank you so much for being part of this session. So, my name is John C. George. As Pooja said, I'm an executive leadership coach. I also come with about 2 decades of corporate leadership experience before I ventured into coaching. One of the challenges which I have seen in the corporate world is the invisibility problem. What is the invisibility problem? Not speaking up when required, especially in boardroom or in large meeting rooms. The leaders do not speak up when required. What happens is maybe somebody else will speak what is there in your mind, and that is not helping your case. So the invisibility problem is one of the problems being faced. Next slide. The second invisibility problem is this. The leadership, they see the dashboard, but they don't see the engine behind who, who produces that dashboard. So many people, many of you work in the background, but the leadership do not know who has contributed towards this. So speaking up is important. That being invisible is not going to help your case. Next slide. The third kind of invisibility is, we are waiting to be invited instead of leading conversations. We will wait if others speak, well and good. I will wait. If I am asked the question, I will speak. But what happens is leadership do not have the time. Leaders do not have the time to look at who is speaking, not speaking. Whoever is speaking, the impression about them registers in the mind and others gets forgotten. So that is something, we need to keep that in mind. The second, so the first element was the invisibility problem. The second element which prevents people from moving up the career ladder is the influence problem. Here, earlier we spoke about dashboards, but if we create complicated dashboards, that is not going to help the leadership team understand the key message. In today's world, the leadership team doesn't have that much of a time to analyze your dashboard. Hence, you should be able to provide information at the fingertip for the leadership in the language they understand. So make complicated dashboards into simpler, easy to understand dashboard. Next slide. The second influence problem is having no relationship with the stakeholders involved in your projects or program. I'm sure many of you would agree that a lot of processes in the organization can get things done. It will get things streamlined. I agree with that. But you may also agree with me that if you have a good relationship with your stakeholders, things get done faster. I repeat, if we have a better relationship with the stakeholders, things get done faster. So, building relationship with stakeholders is definitely important, and that is absolutely must for you to move up the career ladder. The third part of influence problem is the lack of the right language that is used for demonstrating the return of investments. Lack of the right language for the risks that are involved in the program or projects, lack of the right language to influence the respective business heads. If the CEO is sitting in the room, CTO is sitting in the room, CFO, chief marketing officer, if they are sitting in the room, they need to understand the context from the perspective of where they are working. So, as leaders presenting to the leadership team, you should be able to influence them in the right language, which which will which will strike deep in their mind. That's something we need to keep in mind. Pooja, would you like to chip in and share some thoughts around what I just said?
No, I totally agree. I think what I relate is I was like, I thought working on my goals is just enough for me to go up the ladder, right? And I never engaged in extra effort to make work with my stakeholders. I never I thought I will do extremely well. I can write 10 lines of code extra every day to kind of overachieve my goals, but it fall flat on my face. And I knew that I need to be visible. I need to be speaking the language which my bosses understand, or kind of can put me in a in a podium saying that this lady is the person we need to go to. And I should be able to talk business but convert into technical, right? I think that language was something I've understood very late in my game, and I think that's the key.
Yeah, and a lot of mid-career professionals realize this very late in the career, and that becomes a challenge. So, I'm going to share with you three secrets that will help you move into senior leadership roles. I hope everybody is ready to listen. So, let's start with the first one. The first secret is to change our mindset. All the technical leaders out there, we need to move from a technical fix mindset to solve for the business problem. What's the business challenge? And I need to solve that particular challenge the organization is facing. Second, a lot of time we feel, we need to be rewarded, we need to be appreciated. Yes, rewards, appreciation are important, but at the same time, our mindset has to be moving away from getting rewarded to shaping organizational direction, ability to set direction for the organization, ability to think strategically for the organization. So your mindset has to be moving away from I need to be rewarded for the work I do to I am shaping the organizational direction. Next one. The second secret is the business influence code. very good with our technical message. I come from a technology background. I am a software engineer by profession. I was leading the software delivery center. So I do understand, I can code. I used to code. I can code even now, I believe. And I know that a lot of explanations come from a technique in a technical manner, but we need to move away from that to what's the business impact caused by some of the technical things that are happening. And that business impact should be articulated well, and that should help our leaders to take decisions. Your conversation should trigger them to take decision. So that's the business influence code we are talking about over here. So let's take a couple of examples. Next slide. So here is one such example. Rather than we just saying we need 2 crore to upgrade our endpoint protection system, can we change our language to our current endpoint setup exposes us to ransomware risk that could cause 3 to 5 days of downtime. It's an estimated 6 to 8 crore in revenue loss. This 2 crore investment secures business continuity, reduces regulatory risk, and it safeguards our brand trust. If we use this language instead of just the technical language, the senior management team sitting in the room is going to understand the business impact that is being cost. You should move away from a cost center to a business protector department to a business enabler department. So move away from that feeling of I'm a cost center to change that to I'm a business protector or a business enabler. Let's take one more example. We need to migrate workloads to a multi cloud setup and automated provisioning. Well, technically, we might understand that. How about we change that language to by optimizing our cloud architecture, we can reduce the infrastructure cost by 20%, accelerate product deployment cycles by 40%, and it will help improve our uptime from 99.5% to 99.95%. This directly contributes to faster revenue realization and better customer satisfaction. Here, you can even give a time factor to it, or you can give a number to that customer satisfaction. So a better picture comes into people's mind. So again, move away from that technology conversation, from a tech center to driving profitability to the organization. So that is the mindset, and that's the kind of language we need to use. Any thoughts, Pooja, over here?
No, I completely relate. And I think in my experience, what I have known is the leadership, especially your executive leadership, they love numbers, they love savings. They love the business continuity, the roadmap to improve uptime, right? So I think tying it together with something which they like is most important, right? So talk numbers, talk how the business is going to be benefited from your input. I think those dots you need to connect with your work, right? So I think I like the cost center move away from that thought to start thinking business, right? I think that is very good.
Yeah, and one of the things we need to keep in mind that the organizational objectives, if you look at it, are two. That's something which I say: increase the revenue, increase the profitability. Period. Increase revenue, increase profitability. So your language has to be around the work which I am doing, or the technical work which I am doing is helping the organization to either increase the revenue or increase the profitability. You have to come back to that language, right? And the third secret I want to share is this: the executive presence shift. You can't influence if you don't speak and present confidently. I repeat, you can't influence your management team. your customers, your stakeholders, if you don't speak and present confidently. And that's where the executive presence comes into picture. What is executive presence? Next slide. Executive presence is your ability to inspire confidence in others that you can deliver the results. I repeat, it is your ability to inspire confidence in others that you can deliver results. Sometimes when you walk into a room, how many of you have seen these kind of people? There are there are some people, when they walk into the room, you take a look at them and say, okay, now this person is going to help, this person is going to solve the problem. They may not be too senior in the organization, they may not be powerful in the organization, but when they walk into the room, you feel that yes, this person can solve the problem. And that invisible thing is called the executive presence. And let's break that down. Next slide, please. So executive presence has three pillars to it. The first one is gravitas, how you act. The second pillar is communication, what you speak and how you speak. And the third pillar is your appearance, how you look and how you are perceived. Let me break that down for you. Next slide. What does gravitas mean? Gravitas at work means that you are taken seriously, your contributions are considered important, and you are trusted and respected. Let me repeat that. Having gravitas at work means you are taken seriously. When you speak, you are taken seriously. Your contributions are considered important by the organization, and you are trusted and respected. And how do you build this? Let's see the next slide. There are six key things which I talk about in general. Be more empathetic, lead with empathy. You know, uh, 3 4 years back, I was talking to one of the leaders, and I asked that leader, that person was from the mutual fund industry, and I asked the leader, what do you think is the most important leadership quality? And in no time, the person replied, empathy, empathetic leadership. So, having that empathy, leading with empathy is important. And as a leader, the second thing is maintaining calmness in high pressure situation. Let's accept the fact that today's corporate world, the industry is working in a high pressure environment. In such a high pressure environment where everything needs to be delivered faster, how do we maintain calmness? That calmness is important. And when you as a leader demonstrate that calmness, everybody is will become calm and will contribute positively. Third is making faster decision. How many of you like leaders, maybe your manager, if they don't take decisions? You you send certain emails or ask questions, the person is not replying or not taking decision. We don't like that, right? Leaders are expected to take faster decision. Yes, no. And where do that come from? That ability to take that faster decision, it comes from their past experience, their ability to think strategically, the ability to connect dots with different things happening. And when they do that, they are able to take faster decisions. Fourth is speak the truth and demonstrate integrity. Integrity is very important for a leader. And if there is even one situation where your integrity is questioned, everybody will question every decision you are taking in the future. They will always look at it from a mindset of whether can I believe this leader or no. So speaking the truth and speaking and demonstrating that integrity important. Gravitas, fifth element, speak with authority and conviction. And this authority and conviction comes from your ability to understand what is happening, your ability to interact with others and know what is happening, and then you know what is the right thing that needs to be done. And when you do that research, when you do that study as a leader, you will be able to speak with authority and conviction. Last but not the least, humble and be likable. Humility, likability. No, you can be arrogant. I've seen leaders who are arrogant. I'm not saying I've not seen them, but I've also seen their downfall. They there were people who got promoted because they could speak, and for whatever reason they were promoted. But I've seen that their further growth, it got stalled at some point of time because they were seen as arrogant leaders. Nobody wants to work with them. Stakeholders do not want to work with them. And when they are arrogant, even the senior leaders don't want to work with them. People like to work with people they like. I repeat, people like to work with people they like. So the senior leadership of organizations would like to work with people they like. And if you are an arrogant person and you are not a person who is being liked, then it's tough for you. Does that make sense? Yeah, everyone?
It
Pooja,
does to
anything
me.
around
Yes.
this?
No, I think some of these points which you mentioned, right, really connects with me. I especially like the empathetic one. I feel that you should place yourself in other shoes first, and then experience what the person is going through. So maybe you should practice more of that at home, at your work, right? Um, Also, how you I think how you behave in crisis is also kind of puts you highly visible, and what you do at crisis is something which decides your next steps, right? So I think the second point, which is how to be calm and still making the right decisions, is very quick. And also, I think in the third point, when you said faster decisions, uh, we could uh, it's okay to fail once, right, but quickly recover. So don't be scared to make fast decisions, right? Fail quickly and recover quickly is something like we security professionals we do, right? So totally aligned, John
Oh,
C.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. So, next slide. So we spoke about the first pillar, gravitas. The second pillar is communication. What you speak and how you speak. So the general research around communication says this. There are three critical elements to it: words, tone of voice, and body language. Words, tone of voice, body language. Now, what's important over here? The next slide. You'll be surprised to know that for influential communication, body language contributes 55% to that. The tone of voice contributes about 38% to influential communication, and the words contribute only 7%. So, just speaking alone will not help you to influence your senior leadership team. It may not influence your customers. When you are on stage or when you are presenting using the right body language, the tone of voice, both are very, very important. For example, if I sit like this and say, there are three pillars to executive presence: gravitas, communication, and appearance. And communication is very important. 55 percentage of communication is about body language. And if I speak like this for another 2 or 3 or 5 minutes, most people can go to sleep, right? So it's not going to impact the person on the other side. So these, the body language, the tone of voice, all this need to be incorporated in your communication. Next slide. Another important element is the body posture. Body posture is crucial as it communicates confidence, authority, and engagement, shaping how others perceive you. The perception matters. If you look at this image, you can very well see it's the same person sitting in different posture. You can very well see that the fourth image, that demonstrates confidence. And I'm sure that even if you are interviewing somebody and the person on the other side is having a body posture which is sitting like this, for example, that is something which you may not like. You will suddenly feel that the person is not confident. So body posture is something we need to be wary of. Next slide. The last element is your appearance, how you look and how you are perceived. We form an opinion about a person even before they speak, purely on the basis of how they are dressed and groomed. It has nothing to do with the features we are born with. We are all different, but we form an opinion based on how they are dressed and groomed. I can very well say that again. Let's take the example of an interview. If the interviewee is poorly dressed and comes for the interview, shabbily dressed and comes for the interview, the first impression you have is this person is not respecting me, this person is not serious, and you form a lot of negative perceptions about that person. Now, for that perception to change, it's a heavy lift, right? The interviewee has to do a lot of positive things to say when before the interviewer feels okay, this is the right person I want to recruit for my organization. But you still have a doubt in your mind. But on the other hand, if you dress well and you come for the interview, there's a positive feeling that gets created. And you really need to do something horribly wrong for the interviewer to feel that, hey, you are not the right person for this role. So that's a big difference about how we dress and groom. It is very important in the corporate world. So next slide. So now, how many of you realize that there is a lot to learn for you to move into a leadership role? I'm sure many of you realize that by now. And we touched very, very few elements out of that. Next slide. Pankaj Pofle was one of my coaches working with HSBC. He was into a general management role after executive coaching. He moved to a CTO role and then into a CIO role in about 2 years' time. That is the effect executive coaching had on Pankaj. Pankaj says, coaching helped my stakeholder management and strategic thinking skills, and I got promoted as a CTO. Next slide. Shivakumar Hosangadi, Senior Director, Software Engineering. He has said that executive coaching improved my executive presence and presentation skills. And he also said in the testimonial that was given, it helped me improve conflict management on the work front. Next slide. Ishida Priyadarshini, she was a UX lead at Google earlier and currently a UX leader at Microsoft. And she has said this that Coach Johnsy came in at this point in my career. I'm reading the third stanza to help me focus on developing conscious attention to more core motivations in my life. This in turn resulted in me taking tough decisions more easily and feeling unstuck in day to day work. And I feel more confident now. Next slide. This is by Gaurav Rishi. He's a director at Verizon now in New York. He moved from a senior manager into a director role in just 2 years' time. And that's the kind of power executive coaching has made. Next slide. How does executive coaching help? When you go through an executive coaching program, it helps you identify the blind spots that limits leadership growth. When you have a conversation with the coach, you will understand what happened, what is something which you probably were not aware of. So the blind spots you will understand. Executive coaching helps you build your skills to influence without authority. You would agree with me that today it is a world of metrics reporting. One particular individual could be reporting to two or three different individuals, and hence it is important that leaders develop the skill to influence without authority. The third area where executive coaching helps is to improve your executive presence and leadership confidence. So you will start understanding how to change your tech language into more management conversation or into simplified conversation where management team can take decisions. It will help improve your ability to present more confidently and effectively to your stakeholders. Executive coaching can transform ordinary communication into board level influence. Executive coaching can help you develop strategic thinking instead of operational and technical thinking. So your mindset will start thinking more strategically. It will Your mindset will change into how does my project program or how does what I am doing contribute to the larger goal of the organization. Next slide. And what happens if you don't take action? You will continue to remain in the same role while others move up, and you can fast become irrelevant for your organization. And that is a risk that many middle management team face today. And that is the reason why we have designed a program for you. And I would request Pooja to share more details about the program in the next few slides.
Sure, thank you. So I think uh, exactly few of the reasons which Coach Johnsy spoke. We have something we thought carved based on most of your inputs, which came in through multiple various ways. We have carved this program called From Engineer to Executive. It's a direct coaching directly from Johnsy, and I think you've kind of heard the benefits of it. But I think as an individual, if I put myself in the shoes of me again, like 10 years ago, I would probably love to enroll for this. The reason is it helps me navigate that critical piece to understand the business context. It helps me get show my leadership at the right areas and the right opportunities, right? I don't want to miss out that. So I think this kind of training is designed in a way where it will fill the gap which you're experiencing now, especially if you are feeling stagnant in the role, right? So who should come is especially the developers, the engineers, definitely anybody who is ready to step into the next role of C suite, um, mid management people who want to participate and understand the executive styles. We are also looking at tech leads who are doing programs, projects, because I think we this program will help you kind of connect the dots of what your stakeholders and what your leadership and the C-suite of your company want, especially for women, because I think a lot of women are needed in leadership layers. So yeah, definitely for special places for women there. Now, yeah. So I don't have to reiterate. I think you kind of heard from Jansi that what's the benefit here. It's kind of puts you there on the podium, right? You start talking tech to business. You have great influence to make decisions or influence decisions in your stakeholders. You talk risk. You kind of use that risk in your decisions. You get the leadership presence. Of course, you kind of are seen visible in cross-functional teams, and kind of you have an alignment there. So I'm not, all these means a lot as you grow in your career advancement, right? So you cannot miss out on these benefits. Now, how have we structured? We have kind of mixed and match there. You will be learning how you can move from execution to a strategy mindset. You will be talking more business aligned with security and technology, of course, as a technical strength in the back. You will be starting to know how to influence, how to do the right communication, how to make decisions when there is ambiguity all around, right? How do you kind of you may have a team where you we can directly influence, but you have cross functional team where you have no influence. So how do you work with them? What about the people culture piece? How can you fit in and then be more inclusive there? What happens in the board? And how do you pitch your use case in a boardroom setup? And also I think we will have a project kind of alignment where we talk about some simulation examples of this course. Right. So I believe it's a lot interesting, which is designed in the course. Uh, uh, and I kind of urge all of you to take a look. It's in the website. And then, just if they have any questions or have doubts, please reach out to one of us. We can, get you covered there. We can answer. We can also, kind of take feedback from you based on what you want to learn. We can see if we can put that in the program, right? So again, this is 10 weeks program. It's online for now. It will be a cohort based. That means we will stop after taking few people in, and then we want to keep the cohort size minimum to 20 to 40, so that we have good deeper discussions with all of you. And if anybody needs one-on-one, we can talk that through with John C. We can talk and see if we can facilitate that. I think those are the customization which we can offer you. Yeah. So dates, I think right now, if I remember, the dates are in Jan. So please enroll if there is an interest, and reach out if you need help. Um, yeah, I think currently we are kind of doing some offer, so make sure you look at that. If you want to interested to enroll, ping us, and we can come back to you. Okay, that's about it. Any last thoughts, John C, from you?
I think one of the key realizations mid-career professionals need to have is what got you here will not take you to the next level. And in today's ever-changing world, your leadership skills matter, and that will make you stand out from rest of the crowd. So go for this program.
Yeah, and something from my end, I think it took me quite late to understand the importance of your executive presence. I was writing codes, I was doing a lot of things, but I cannot talk the same code language with my bosses for sure. So I've kind of understood, observed, and understood a lot of pieces by spending a lot of hours with them or with me to reflect. And I think what we are providing here is a way to quicker, if you kind of understand this earlier and know how to navigate them. I think then your kind of growth kind of comes quicker, right? So I think that's a message which I also want to say, that if you're feeling the stagnancy, if you're feeling you are kind of not growing, you want to be there but there is something getting missed, then definitely this may help you, right? Okay. I don't see any questions. I think in LinkedIn, Krishna is saying interesting. Apart from that, I believe no questions asked. So we are good, Jansi, to close, or yeah, anything?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you all. Again, reach out if you think anything needed, or any support needed. Please reach out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.